Mr. Maejo, kí ló gbé yín dé Àgídìgbò?
Èmi àti girlfriend mi a plan pé a fẹ́ ṣe wedding. A dẹ̀ á di àwọn bí 100 plus nínú group ọ̀dọ̀ ọ̀rẹ́ mi ni wọ́n pẹ̀lú àwọn tí mo mọ̀. Òun náà dẹ̀ kó àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ wa. A dẹ̀ ta aṣọ ní 50,000 pẹ̀lú package so ní ó wà lọ́wọ́ wọn yẹn. So after tí a ta aṣọ tán, ó ní mo left group mi sọ pé ìyàwó ti sá lọ. Ọ̀dọ̀ plan ni mi àti ẹni. So ọ̀dọ̀ package ni aṣọ tí a gbé fún wọn. So hotel ta lodge sí èmi àti ẹ̀ yàtọ̀ àti àgbà owó tá gbà bí 5 million ni ibẹ̀ ni wọ́n ti wá ká mọ́ láàárọ̀ wọ́n dẹ̀ wọ́ wá sí ọ̀dọ̀ Alhaji Oríyọmí pé ká gbẹnu sí máìkì kì í dẹ̀ ṣe pé bóyá pé 40 tiwa náà situation Nàìjíríà ni ó jẹ́ ká wò pé ká decide láti package aṣọ owó la fi ra aṣọ náà a dẹ̀ tẹ orúkọ a tẹ everything.
Okay, situation Nàìjíríà ló jẹ́ kẹ́ fògbójú gba owó lọ́wọ́ àwọn èèyàn.
No, àfògbójú gba á fún wọn láṣọ ó ní àtàṣọ fún wọn.
Ẹ tú síta ẹ jẹ́ ká rí ẹ tú síta.
Ǹjẹ́ máa wá ṣe wedding yìí àbẹ́ ṣe wedding?
Ní plan ká fẹ́ ṣe wedding normal girlfriend ni wá kì í ṣe pé bóyá. Àti nínú 3 million tèmi yọ 100 láta fún 50,000 2 million èmi fóun èmi dẹ̀ ti nínú fóun tèmi ra ladies bag.
Okay, àwọn tí ẹ ta aṣọ 50k fún ẹ jọ̀ọ́ kí lẹ fẹ́ kí wọ́n ṣe fún yín?
Kán má bínú kán jọ situation Nàìjíríà.
Ká má bínú bá wò wá.
Calm down.
Àmọ́. Àmọ́.
Lọ́wọ́ báyìí ẹ dá owó padà owó bá wò. Mo tẹ̀ra bẹ́ẹ̀ sì lọ wá owó kálukú.
Èmi ti fowó sí ṣọ́ọ̀bù.
Alhaji ló bá wa dá. Alhaji bá ti dé.
Jókòó báyìí, ẹ má dìde o.
Ó gàrí sí máìkì. Ẹ tẹ̀síwájú.
Orí yín abó ṣe ní ọ̀lẹ ni yín ni ọ̀lẹ afàjò olè aláìní nǹkan ṣe ebi ń pa wá o oko everywhere lóko wà nígbà tí mo lọ sílé oko lójú títì àgbàdo ọkà bàbà mo rí láàrin títì ọkà bàbà dẹ̀ hó dẹ̀ so nílẹ̀ Yorùbá láàrin títì níbi tí mọ́tò ń gbà ọkà bàbà ó wà fortunate ó bọ́ sáàrin rẹ̀ ó dẹ̀ gbọ́mọpọ̀n ó dẹ̀ so. Àgbàdo bóyá ìtàwọn àyálọ́jà lọ rà ní àgbàdo gbígbẹ ó jábọ́ sójú títì kì í ṣe pọ́n fi ṣìtàn pa fún mi ó dẹ̀ so. Ẹ béèrè lọ́wọ́ ìwèrè ó lè yí pé ṣé ó yẹ kó kọ́ṣẹ́ àbí kò yẹ kó kọ́ṣẹ́. Àwọn aráàlú òyìnbó mò ń sọ tí gbogbo àwọn tó wà ìlú òyìnbó tó bá dá owó sísẹ̀ǹdì sílé dúró tí ó bá jẹ́ torí àwa tá a ń lòbì sílé tán dá owó tán sẹ́ǹdì sílé dúró ní Nàìjíríà ní odindi oṣù méjì ìlú yẹn dẹ̀ máa crash ó dẹ̀ máa wó. Almost $9 billion to $10 billion òun ni àwọn tó ń ṣe ẹrú ní ìlú òyìnbó lọ́mọ Nàìjíríà náà sẹ́ǹdì sílé. Ẹ lọ check ẹ̀ wọ pẹ̀lú obìnrin ordinary girlfriend ní ẹnu ẹ̀ dẹ̀ wá ń lé bébébébébébébébé. This is not whom we are. This is not Yoruba. This is not whom we are. Wàhálà ti wọ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Yorùbá ti wọ gàù. Mo pàdé ìyá kan gbà tí mo wálé. Ní ọdún yìí ni mo sì sọ yìí kò tí this is ṣé mail láwà ẹ̀ kò tí gbogbo nǹkan tá à ń sọ yìí kò tí kóṣù mẹ́fà. Kò tí kóṣù mẹ́fà. Ìyá tí mò ń sọ yìí ẹkún omi jábọ́ lójú mi ó pẹ́ kí n tó sun ẹkún. Ẹ mọ rísì tó mi fi ń jábọ́. Kò ju wípé ìyá yìí sọ pé àgbésùn ló ń lọ gbé ní last week ó fi àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta ó fi búra àgbésùn ló ń lọ gbé. Ìyá 55 years. Mo wá béèrè pọ́kọ ẹ̀ ńkọ́. Ọlọ́kọ̀ ń wà ní oko. Ọlọ́kọ̀ ń wà lóko. Kí ló dé tó o lọ bá ọkọ ẹ? Ṣé kò sí fóònù kó o pè é ni? Mi ò fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn jù. Torí tí n bá sọ tó bá padà rí fídíò á mọ̀ pé àwọn ni mò ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ẹ̀. Mi dẹ̀ ní sọ nǹkan tí mo ṣe so that because a lot of people always come to me when I tell them. But a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run pé Ọlọ́run lò wá. Owó àgbésùn tó gbé kò bọ́ àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ lọ́jọ́ tó padà dé lọ́jọ́ kejì. Bóyá ó tiẹ̀ ti ká ìsàn báyìí ta ló mọ̀. Ọ̀lẹ ó pẹ̀lú tó ń yọ Yorùbá lẹ́nu. Ẹ̀yin àwọn eléyìí sì pàtí ni pàtí gbọ́yàn síta ṣe kò sí bẹ́ẹ̀ bá fẹ́ ṣe iṣẹ́ kan nílẹ̀ Yorùbá báyìí ẹ máa wá bó jẹ́ jẹ́ àgbẹ̀ ni o bó jẹ́ ṣe táìlì ni o bó jẹ́ ṣe pẹ́fẹ́ kunlé ni o bó jẹ́ pẹ́fẹ́ ṣe iná ni o bó jẹ́ wọn ò fẹ́ kọ́ṣẹ́ mọ́. Kí ló ba ayé wa jẹ́ débẹ̀? Àwọn ìjọ ìgbàlódé wọ̀nyí àwọn ìjọ ìgbàlódé tó fi dórí mùsùlùmí ìgbàlódé àwọn ló ba ayé wa jẹ́. Ẹ bọ́ sórí social media ẹ máa jà. Irú tó yẹ kẹ́ ẹ jà fún kẹ́ ẹ gba economic power yín ẹ ò jà fún yẹn. Tinubu lẹ̀ ń pariwo ẹ̀hún ló kó bá yín. Ọmọ ọlọ́mọ ó lóun wá ó lóun ló kàn. Why can't you just say it to yourself pé wọ́n gan ló kàn ní family ẹ̀ kẹ́ ẹ jà gbogbo. Eléyìí tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ nísìnyí ẹ lọ ṣe marriage ẹ ṣe arrange marriage ẹ wá ń lọ ń print ìwé. Energy tẹ́ fi sínú pé ẹ ń print ìwé yẹn. Why can't you just put that energy kó o lọ fi wáṣẹ́ kọ́? Energy tẹ́ fi ronú gbájú ẹ̀ yẹn ẹ lè ronú yẹn kẹ́ ẹ lọ wò pé tẹ́mi náà bá ń print ìwé tí mo lọ ń ṣàwọn nǹkan kan. Why can't you just think out of box? Tó jẹ́ pé o lè ẹ̀fẹ́ jà nǹkan jìbìtì ló wù yín kẹ́rin. Bẹ́ẹ̀ rán wọn iṣẹ́ lé wọn á gba ẹ iṣẹ́ tí ò yẹ kó ju 20,000 wọn á sọ fún ẹ pé 100,000. Almost every one of them wọn á sọ fún ẹ pé 100,000. Ó sáàdì gan-an ó sáàdì. Tí ìjọba bá ń ṣe rere 2 years òní ojú yọbọ sì ló ń bẹ. Almost 1 year òní Buhari tó wà ní ẹsẹ̀ káyé ẹsẹ̀ kan ọ̀run. Ó ti kú o kò kú o Sudan ni o kíní kan Sudan ni o gbàkan àwo kan. Mi ò ń ṣe fáànù Tinubu ìdẹ̀ ṣe é sí ẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n kò pọ́síbù kí n máa gbèjà Fúlàní. Kò pọ́síbù. ẹ parapọ̀ tẹ́ lọ bọ́mọ yín sọ̀rọ̀ ni ẹ̀yin àgbààgbà ẹ dìde lẹ̀ ebi ṣe kan lẹ́yìn ṣe tamarangba yẹn tẹ́ lọ sí kí ni wọ́n ti ń pè Gani Fáwẹ̀mí park tẹ́ lọ ṣe protest nígbà tí wọ́n sọ pé subsidies kìíní kan gbà kan àwọn kan fraud ní gbájú ẹ̀ ní òun kọ́ lọ́wọ́ tó bá yẹ pé Jonathan ti ṣe ń gbà yẹn ṣé Tinubu máa kó bá wa báyìí Tinubu dẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn tó ṣe protest ń gba Jonathan òun bá ẹ̀gbọ́n ojú tó yọbọ́ tí kò gbà tó ṣe protest nǹkan tí mo like ní system ẹ̀ nìyẹn. Let anybody want to talk, let them talk, but do the job, that's it. Ìwọ ló sọ pé ìwọ ló kàn ní ìwọ ló sọ pé ó lè ṣe náà ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ti dìdàkudà nínú gbogbo inú oko wọ̀nyẹn bẹ̀ làwọn Fúlàní wà pátápátá ẹ wo Ibrahim Tore ọmọ kékeré ọmọ 30-something years ọmọ àná ó ń ṣe nǹkan ribiribi ó ti ní national career Burkina Faso national career òun ni ó ti ná Ghana ìgbà ayé Buhari fake kínní ẹni tó gbé kínní ẹ̀ wá báyìí ó yan kiri àwọn olè ó yan kiri ní ìjọba ẹ̀gbọ́n mi òjijì ọgọ́jì wọ́n dẹ̀ yan ká ẹ̀dẹ̀ lè renew what yóò ẹ̀ renew nǹkan kan bẹ́yẹn àwọn àbákíárè whatever tó call himself or what is kí lórúkọ ṣé ìbákẹ́ ló ń jẹ́ ètò di NNPC mú yẹn tó ó wà London ẹ̀ lè repatriate yẹn ọ ẹ má bá ṣe lè lọ gbé Nnamdi Kanu àwọn tó jalè wọn ẹ̀ lè gbé wọn reform tó ń lọ nínú NNPC yẹn kudos to ẹ̀gbọ́n ojú tó yọ bọ́ tí ò bọ́ tó tó ilé tí Efe òfin ó lè. Look at that stupid one in Kogi. Onyagiri. 80 billion plus. Àgbọ̀ kankan báyìí ni. Ó lọ sí kọ́ọ̀tù báyìí, ó yan káwọn ṣe báyìí. You can imagine. Ìyẹn tí wọ́n ń sọ, ó tún kọ lẹ́tà, ẹni tó yẹ kó fọwọ́ bojú ẹ̀ tún kọ lẹ́tà nípa ti Natasha. Irú Senate president yìí sì, ṣé ó yẹ kó wà ń bẹ̀? Ṣé kò yẹ kó dọwọ́ bojú ẹ̀ kó jẹ́ ti kọ́kọ́? Kókó step aside na. You can imagine. Ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ló jẹ́ báyìí mi. Àwọn senator billions náà ń gbà. Ṣé bá ṣe fẹ́ máa bá lọ lélẹ̀? Fúlàní ń ṣe tiẹ̀. Àwọn olóṣèlú ń ṣe tiwọn. Àwọn tó fi mọ́rẹ́jì ń gbàyàn lọ. Àwọn ọlọ́pàá náà ń pa ọmọ kékeré ọmọ 14 years ọmọ yẹn fẹ́ lọ ṣe kínní ẹ̀dẹ̀ yìnbọn pa nìbàdàn. Ẹ̀gbọ́n ojú yóò bọ́tẹ̀ wà bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ẹ̀dẹ̀ ń wò. Àníkẹ́ devolve power yìí ẹni tó pa ọmọ yìí báyìí àmọ́ colonism stuff tó wà lọ́pọlọ àwọn ọlọ́pàá ẹ jẹ́ ká devolve kínní ká state police á lè wà. Regional police, let us, if we've done this before, and it works. We've done this before. Fúlàní ò jẹ́ ká ní mú mi ṣe tí oníkàlùkù bá develop space ẹ̀ ṣé wọ́n gbígbà bá ńlá Fúlàní kadà kan wá máa overrun ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ni.
They are systematically taking over Nigeria, and they want to make Nigeria into a Muslim caliphate. And the Fulani ethnic militia, the Muslim terrorists, go into Christian villages. They're not coming in with cattle. They're coming in on motorcycles with AK-47s and killing everything that moves, and then destroying and razing the entire village.
And yelling Allahu Akbar
and yelling Allahu Akbar while doing it. And it has nothing to do with climate change. These are nomadic herders that have 500-year-old view of cattle farming. Nigeria was 70% Christian.
Amazing.
Now it's 50-50. It's 50% Muslim, 50% Christian.
Because they've been killing.
Because they have been going back to their systematic jihad. Now, look, Islam has conquered every civilization it's touched since 640 AD through 3 methods of jihad. 1, cultural jihad. We'll move in, we'll blend in with the population as we're a minority. Then they start gaining a population, having lots of kids. Then once they get a population, they do political jihad. All right.
And cultural.
Then cultural jihad. Then after political jihad, once they have the political cover to do the violence, they go into violent jihad and take over territory. And that is how they have systematically taken over all of northern Africa.
Well, and what's particularly interesting when you dig a little deeper is that the Fulani tribe doesn't just exist in Nigeria. They're in Sierra Leone and Senegal and right across the border, right? I mean, throughout the center and east of Africa and west.
And for some magical reason, every country they touch turns into war.
I'll call in the elders, social elders, religious elders, traditional elders, political elders, and say, I'm in trouble. Things are not working. What can we do? I'll have a frank conversation and say, I'd like to make Nigeria a place where everybody feels equal. And the only way I can do it is to take government to the roots. There are things I can't do that I see in the Constitution. I don't want to do them. So I would like to have a situation where I distribute power and pass a new constitution. And in fact, I see a model. I see the 1963 model. Can we have that so that the regions will have its space? MKO once told me when I visited him that one of the ways in which he had peace was he never allowed any wife to dominate. So if wife A wanted to cook okra soup for the kids, that's fine. Another one wants to cook amala, that is fine. But if you decide to have one central wife who says today is rice and beans, but most of the children don't want it, then there's a problem. So decentralization is the way to go.
Sadly, your reign as president is over. And unfortunately, I made you president in 1 minute, and you've told us what you will do. But now, do you think that the original president, President Bola Tinubu, has the political will or could do what you have described now?
I don't see why not.
Mi ò mọ nǹkan tí àwọn tó yí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ojú tó yọbọ́ tí ò fọ́. Mi ò mọ nǹkan tó ń wá lẹ́yìn kí Nàìjíríà kó dojúbolẹ̀. Mi mọ nǹkan tó fẹ́ gbà sí. Mi mọ nǹkan tí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ojú tó yọbọ́ tí ò fọ́. Mi mọ nǹkan tó fẹ́ gbà sí orúkọ burúkú lẹ́yìn tí ó bá kúrò ní ipò tán. Because tẹ́ ẹ bá fi gbogbo góòlù tẹ́ ẹ fi ṣe gbogbo ọ̀nà tí náà ń lọ yàlà tó mi ń lọ yàlà ó lè wà ń bẹ̀ títí láéláé. Àwọn tó ń fo omi ìtọ̀ màlúù tán fi ń bọ́jú tán sọ wípé àwọn ò ní rán ọmọ wọn nílé ìwé sà ẹ̀gbọ́n tán sọ wípé bí ayé wọn ayé àwọn elite wọn nìkan ṣùgbọ́n kán ba ayé àwọn tó kù jẹ́ tán sọ ọmọ wọn di agbésùmọ̀mí tán sọ wọn di castle rustlers tán sọ àwọn ọmọ wọn tán sọ di ẹni tó ń gbénú gbó tó ń mọ nǹkan táwọn ń ṣe tán subject wọn to zero tán bá padà wá tán bá di president gbogbo legacy tó fi lélẹ̀ wọ́n á ba ayé ẹ̀ jẹ́ padà. Devolution of power is the way to go. Òun náà ni Olisa Agbakoba ẹjọ́ já ìjà òmìnira ẹni kí ló wà ń bẹ̀ kí ló wà ń bẹ̀ gbogbo nǹkan tó ń wá láyé lọ́lọ́run ti ṣe fún ẹ náà ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Tinubu gbogbo nǹkan tó ń wá láyé lọ́lọ́run ti ṣe fún ẹ òun wọ́n mọ́ fún ẹ. Aṣẹ́jù nínú àyà aṣẹ́jù onírun àyà ìwọ tó ń sọ fún mi pé Yorùbá nation solution orí ẹ̀ dàrú orí ẹ̀ kó ṣubú òní bíbá ọ̀dẹ̀ ni ẹ ò gbọ́n ta ló bá jiyàn pé kì í ṣe solution nìyẹn but ẹran là ń fi sọ́wọ́ tá a máa fi jẹ ìdín Yorùbá òun ja ìjà wèrè èyí tẹ́ ṣe ń jọ́ síta kìlọ̀ fún yín nìyẹn òun lẹ kó gbogbo àwọn ọmọ ọlọ́mọ wọ́n wà nínú sẹ́ẹ̀lì bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n jáde. The Constitution of 1999 say it's a treason. Ṣé ẹni kan tí bò ní ẹ máa tara yín jẹ torí wọ́kọ̀bọ̀ tútù kọ̀bọ̀ tẹ́ fẹ́ gbà. Ẹ wo àbọ̀rọ̀ lásán fọ́mọlúwàbí tó bá dénú ẹ̀ adòdìdì. Ènìyàn ò lè gòkè lójú ọmọ aráyé ká mọ̀ rí sọ́wọ́. Lólówó lọ́wọ́ ìyọnu ni. Bí 20 ọdún tá a ti ń lùlù yíbọ̀ ẹnìkan ò rí wa. Ọba mẹ́wàá ìgbà mẹ́wàá ló ní ilé ayé ẹnìkan ò lólé ayé gbó. Wọ́n ní ẹ̀rí gbè mí ògùn ló ṣe I know they listen to money one way, you know. I want my plan if Fulani, ó ti pẹ́ tó ti wà lẹ́nu ẹ̀, ó pẹ́.
It's not about ransom. They just want to pass a message. We can come in. We can do what we need to do. And there are some hardliners in this government that are sponsoring this kind of narratives. They just want to show that they can Islamize this country. They think about Taliban. They think about the Mujahideens. And they want to replicate it in this country. And they don't care what happened. They simply don't care, as long as at the end of the day, there's Sharia and there is whatever thing they have in their head they want to achieve. So these people that are sending messages are sponsored by Nigerians. You remember this Boko Haram issue started since 2012. Yeah. And I was in the military intelligence that time. We arrested those people. It is my organization that actually conducts interrogation and interview. And they mention names. I mean, I can't come on the air and start mentioning names of people that are presently in government now that I know. Presently in government. That the boys that we arrested mentioned. Some of them are governors now.
This is the time of Buhari. The regime of Buhari, when he came back, he said it. Emma Bo, láti Guinea, Emma Bo, láti everywhere, and Fulani Emma Bo. Buhari, àwọn tó sọ pé ó repent, tó jẹ́ pé àwọn tó ti ba ayé èèyàn jẹ́ tó ti mú ẹ̀jẹ̀, ó dá wọn padà sínú ológun. Now you see the way our gallant soldiers have been ambushed. Kí ni ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ojú tó yọbọ, kí ló ń wò, kí lẹ̀ ń ṣe ń bẹ̀. 2 years is enough to do what you want to do. Devolve the power. Ẹ bá fẹ́ para ẹ̀ ní ọ̀dọ̀ tí ẹ̀ kan para wọn dànù. Ṣé báwọn ló lọ kó wọn wá? And most of these people, they are any in government. Most a lot of them, any to come Fulani wa. Ibrahim Tore, I won't cut share. Ni Sunday to Lord Abi Ojo wo niyen. Drones, technology, one eliminate more than 400 of these crazy guys. Overrun and military because one want no military want me come moso. Let the heaven fall, and heaven cannot fall. I trust you. Devolve the powers. This constitution is not helping, and you yourself, you know. Support here. Ọdún méjì ti tó láti fi ṣe nǹkan tí èèyàn bá fẹ́ ṣe láyé. Mandela nìyẹn náà. Àpẹẹrẹ wà ta ló mọ̀lá. Àwọn tó ń di káàmpù sọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀ tó ń di káàmpù sí APC máa ń gbà wọ́n gbọ́. A mọ̀ wọ́n máa ń gbà wọ́n gbọ́. Máa ṣe di káàmpù sí PDP ìjọsìn nìyẹn. Trust wọn. Èṣù ni wọ́n, Sátánì ni wọ́n, ẹ̀yin tó ń bọ èṣù ẹ má bínú onígbà yẹn lẹ máa sọ pé èṣù ń ṣe kinní kan sí eré ìmọ̀ bí dájú rí analogy tí èèyàn lòun onílé oríta onílé kánbùkànbù òun lòun bẹ́lẹ́kú sọ fún ní kinní kan ó ní oríkì ẹ̀ gan pápá gan ọ̀ràn. I don't know. Ìgbẹ́yìn ti rí gbogbo ìkíní tẹ̀ǹtì. Ọkùnrin eléyìí ó ní ó ń wà nínú nígbà ayé Buhari ó wà nínú gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì ìkan lára wọn lélẹ́yìí.
And of course, we will try more to cultivate that culture in our people, while at the same time bringing the Fulanis in one fold and try to arrest their traditional practice of moving from one place to the other. And that is very big, an uphill task. But I think we can communicate with them more, because to them they don't have borders from Cameroon to Nigeria.
But that's the thing, Your Excellency. How do we ensure that those who will be participating in this federal government largely funded program will be Nigerians?
in terms of the funding?
No, in terms of the
operations.
Operations. You
That
said
is it.
to bring in the Fulanis together. We have
You
Fulanis from other
see, the
countries
issue
as well.
of misconception, I see there is a lot of mistrust and misconception with regards to the Fulani man. The Fulani man is a global or an African person. He moves from the Gambia, from Senegal, and his nationality is just a Fulani man. And as a person, I may have my relations in the Cameroon, but they are also Fulani men. I have relations because from the maternal side, I'm a Fulani man. And that is why we want to educate people. A Fulani man sees himself as a Bayelsan, as somebody coming from the Niger Delta, because he speaks the Niger Delta language, which you and I don't. And of course, we would have to just take.
Nǹkan tí òyìnbó yẹn sọ nìyẹn tó ń bá ti wá sí tẹ́rìtì ẹ wọ́n á kọ́kọ́ darapọ̀ mọ́ society ẹ wọ́n á èdè ẹ wọ́n á mọ èdè ẹ sọ wọ́n á kọ́kọ́ èdè ẹ wọ́n á rúnra mọ́ láyé ò lè gbéde wọn tó bá yá wọ́n á náwó sí wọ́n ti jẹ́ chairman local government ní àwọn ìlú kan ní Yorùbá land náà wọ́n á rúnra mọ́ bẹ̀ wọ́n á gbèdè ẹ lẹ́nu ẹ Ìgbò tí ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ sí ẹ wo nǹkan tí wọ́n sọ Oǹdó dà nígbà ayé Akérédolú tó lọ fẹ́ ṣe bíńtà àbí bẹ́tà àbí wọ̀rẹ́fà tó kọ́ lọ́mọbìnrin olóbùkú yẹn gbogbo ọ́fíìsì sí Oǹdó state lóbìnrin yẹn kó gbòòsì tó wọ́n bá yí ẹ̀jẹ̀ wọ́n fẹ́ wá ìlú yẹn lọ sílùú wọn dánwò Fúlàní ṣe tiẹ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀ ṣe tiẹ̀ ẹ̀gbọ́n the only solution sórí ọ̀rọ̀ kéèyàn ọ̀kánjúwà kéèyàn mú díẹ̀ kó má mú kó jẹ́ mú díẹ̀ sí Ọlọ́run ló mọ̀lá o Ọlọ́run ló mọ̀lá ọdún mẹ́rin ti tó ṣé nǹkan tó fẹ́ ṣe.
Just take this as part of our own heritage, something that is African, and that we cannot just close the border and say the Fulani man is just a Nigerian or this. No. In most cases, the crises are precipitated by those outside Nigeria. When there is a reprisal, it is not the Fulani man within Nigeria that causes it. It is that culture of getting revenge, which is embedded in the tradition of the Fulani man, that attracts reprisal from all over the place.
If I understand, does that mean that those Fulani men who are maybe domiciled in other countries who move around, they can come into the country and...
So Shembali, Benu Esong, mo bon ṣe interview. Ṣé tó bá jẹ́ Rufai ló interview man ṣé kò ní bèèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹ pé revenge kí náà revenge fún tó ń pa kúkúrú tó ń pa gúngùn wọ́ òbèrè yẹn lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. Ṣé ti politics bọ Channel TV? I don't like it.
This plan will accommodate them as well.
Yes, that's what we want to do. But it has to be done through sensitization, telling them you have to buy in the project. And you use the language, the culture is up to be able to convince them. Away from the mistrust where the whole system of transhumance or pastoralism is criminalized. Criminalization of pastoralism is the problem that we have with this project. And it requires people with passion who understand them and who they believe in, people like us from that part of the country, to say, yes, we have this. Because today there is no limit to the accusation that this and that has happened and it is the Fulani man who caused it. There is no tribe that is not, that you don't have this criminality in. But certainly the way and manner we do it is really excavating the crisis and the problems.
Will there be any form of documentation of all the people that will be,
yes, we are taking going to give Nigeria the opportunity to really have the best in terms of documentation in the demographics. Because, as I said, the Fulani man settles anywhere he can feed his cattle. And so, if they are put in one place and they are made to understand that this is to save them and their animals, they are exposed to the vagaries of the forest and what is going on, cattle rustling, killings and what have you, and that's why it is important for them to understand that staying in one place is good. And of course, in terms of the best practice of carrying the meat, the cows and the lorries.
Let's stay with that security angle for a bit. Is there going to be, this plan going to be a fenced enclosure where anyone who comes in is secured, so there is no one that can just come in from anywhere else?
No. It is going to be a colony, and a colony does not require a fence.
You will understand
it is not going to be a prison.
You will understand the reason why people are concerned because of all this.
they will just láti gbáyé Buhari náà ti ń wá so kí ẹ̀gbọ́n ojú tó yọbọ́ tí ò fọ́ kó wá sọ fún mi ọgbọ́n tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ fi nǹkan tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ ṣe torí everywhere inú gbónú everywhere náà á rí wọn tán fi mọ́tò Dangote kó wọn káàkiri náà á rí wọn náà àràkà tí mo lè ń sọ nìyí. ṣé nígbà tán ní àwọn kan ní wọ́n wá gé oko ní refineries Dangote ẹ jọ ṣé kò sí unemployment youth ní Yorùbá land mọ́ tó wá jẹ́ láti Katsina láti lọ kó àwọn èèyàn kan wá gé ko gbogbo plan wọn ìlànà ẹ̀pọ̀ wà lẹ̀ ẹ̀yin Yorùbá dẹ̀ mọ̀ àwọn tó ń gàgbì Tinubu ní Aso Rock àti Yorùbá o àti Igbo o àti Fúlàní o àti kíní o tẹ́ ẹ̀ fẹ́ ká devolve power Nàìjíríà tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ fìyà máa jẹ àwọn aláìmọ̀kan gbogbo yín lẹ máa sun ẹkún gbẹ̀yìn ayé yín agbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run mi ti lọ o máa padà wá ẹni tó bá ní kẹ́ wá mi wá òjò tó bá forí tàpátá òjò náà lẹ́wọ́ ara rẹ̀ bàjẹ́ ó dàbọ̀.